Today's question is, how do you fit treats into a weight loss journey? And I love this question because I personally included a sweet treat of sorts every single day, and almost still do almost every single day as I was losing weight, and I've been able to sustain my weight loss. So I want to be very clear that it is not only possible to enjoy treats while on a weight loss journey, I would argue that it's necessary. Now, I realize that this question, they're not asking, can I? They're asking, how can I? Which I think is already a good sign that they have embraced that like treats can be a part of a weight loss journey. But I do want to start um, the answer to this question by first being really, really clear in case there are people listening that aren't so convinced that how you lose weight needs to become how you live your life if you want to sustain your weight loss results. The the habits, the process, the method that you use to lose the weight, you will need to sustain at a pretty high degree in order to sustain your results. Not exactly. There is a difference between the habits that support a calorie deficit and habits that support maintenance, weight maintenance, but they're pretty similar. So our members are establishing habits that they can sustain indefinitely. So if you are thinking that you can just cut out treats until you reach your weight loss goal and then go back to whatever you were doing before, I can guarantee that your weight will also go back to whatever it was before, if that's your approach. I know from personal experience, and I know from years and years and years of watching women try that method, right? Like, how many times have you done a 6 week challenge, a 12-week challenge, a 6 month challenge, gone back to whatever you were doing before, and the weight returns? Most of the women in our program and our community, they are not interested in just losing 10 pounds. They are interested in losing and sustaining 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 50 pounds, 70 pounds, right? We are hopefully accepting, we are at the phase of life, in the phase of life where we realize it's not just losing, it's not just about losing, it's also about maintaining the weight that you lose, right? So, if you enjoy treats, if you've got a sweet tooth, and I guess I should say too that treats to me means something sweet, but to you it might mean a glass of wine or some savory chips or crackers that you really enjoy, right? So whatever, if you enjoy treats, whatever that means to you, finding a way to include them as you work on your weight loss goal is key. Now, to the original question, how do I do this? Well, I like to work my way backwards, starting with the end result in mind and then back into it. So, what I like to do and what I encourage our members to do is to picture their future. What is the end result? What does future you, when you have lost the weight, when you are living a fulfilling, happy, joyful, passionate life, how does that person enjoy treats? What types of treats do they really love? And what types of treats are they like, I'm okay without? What do they say yes to? What do they say no to? How often are they enjoying treats? Now, this is important because this is very person specific. I could ask 10 members this question and get 10 completely different answers. My answers will look different than your answers. I personally want to have something small and more frequent. There are members, and I'm sure people listening, that would prefer to have something larger and less frequent. Or they might be totally satisfied and content with just 1 or 2 treats a week. I need a little bit more. So as your frequency increases, the size or the volume tends to decrease in order to continue to support a weight loss goal. But I want you to start the answer to this question by reflecting on the end result in mind. When you think about future you, what's their relationship to treats? How often? What are they saying yes and no to? Are there not negotiables that these I'm not saying no to, but these I can let go? For me, that's Easter is no problem for me because most of the chocolate available, no shade or judgment to anyone who does enjoy Easter candies, but for me, that milk chocolate, candy milk chocolate, is just doesn't do it for me. Dark chocolate peanut butter cups from Trader Joe's, on the other hand, that will do it for me. So getting to essentially know yourself, and this might take some trial and error too as you kind of work through answering these questions, but start by giving some consideration to what's the end result? What are we working towards? And then from there, you can start to either A, practice those behaviors. And I say practice very intentionally. I use that word very intentionally because it is a practice, and practice includes making mistakes. Practice includes things going really well sometimes. Practice also includes things not going really well sometimes. And as you gather that information through your practice, you use it to help adjust and influence your choices moving forward, right? So you can either start to practice those behaviors, or if that feels like too big for you, that is too much to bite off all at once, maybe identify a specific situation. That could be an environment when you, the break room at work. That could be your best friend's house that you go to for book club on Thursday nights. That could be the happy hour that you have at work on Wednesday nights before you head home. That could be specific holidays or family meals that you have. It could also look like a time of day, like if you typically have a sweet treat after lunch, or a sweet treat after dinner, or maybe after lunch and dinner, or you know that afternoon slump always creeps up on you, and by 3 p.m. you are just feeling desperate for something sweet in your mouth. Identify a specific circumstance, excuse me, or a time of day can help you narrow down your practice. And then from there, because I know this member who asked this question is in coaching, I would say if you can't embody the behaviors that you picture yourself that future you has just yet, can we build a bridge? So this is where you want to be, this is where you are. What steps can we take that help support crossing that valley, so to speak, to build a bridge to who you want to be, right? And again, this is really, really specific to the individual. And that's why we say, one of the many reasons we say in Balance 365 all the time is the troubles, the obstacles, the problems, quote unquote, that women have are all very similar. I could probably narrow down the bulk of those into one hand, right? The solutions, on the other hand, are very person specific and should be very individual. So I would say identify who you want to be. What is your ideal relationship with treats look like? And then can you start to practice those behaviors? If doing the whole day or the whole week all at once is too much, can you isolate it to a specific circumstance, time of day, or maybe even day of week? I know this person in particular has struggled with weekends, so maybe a focus for them right now could include, I'm going to commit to practicing these behaviors on the weekend. I'm going to just practice. What does that look like? And get very clear on the behaviors and the habits that follow, that your future self has with treats. So I hope that's helpful. I want to just reiterate one more time, because I think it's so important, that it is not only possible to have treats while on a weight loss journey, I would argue that it is necessary, especially if you are someone like me who wants to enjoy treats indefinitely. I'm not trying to live a life where I can't have uh, brownies or monster cookies. If you've listened to the podcast, you know I have got a weakness for monster cookies. I personally, like I said, I like to have something frequently. I often have, again, I didn't start here. This has taken practice, but I often have two dark chocolate peanut butter cups from Trader Joe's, and I'm sure you can get them elsewhere, but that's where I shop. Um, either after lunch or after dinner almost every day. And I've chosen those specifically because the richness, the taste, they are very psychologically satisfying to me. Other people might not enjoy them. There might be something else that you enjoy that is truly satisfying and psychologically satisfying. I would also say too that how you enjoy treats gives some consideration to when you think about future self. Uh, are they just mindlessly scarfing treats in the pantry? Are they seeing a sweet treat and grabbing it and eating it kind of on the go as they're running out to school pickup or on their way to work or as they're cleaning up the kitchen? Or do they intentionally take out a treat, plate it, sit down, reduce distractions, and make it a really enjoyable eating experience? There is no right or wrong answer here. And then the final recommendation I would make is, as you practice, think about how this vision of your future self, how do they respond to poor choices where they maybe ate more mindlessly instead of intentionally, choices where it led to overeating and feeling uncomfortable in their body, choices where maybe they told themselves no too frequently and as a result they're feeling a little bit deprived. How do they handle those circumstances? I'd be willing to bet, although I have not personally met everyone on this live, I'd be willing to bet that future you does not beat yourself up. She doesn't shame, she doesn't criticize. She probably says something like, why did we do that? I'm curious about that. What was going on? And probably sounds something like, that's interesting. Oh well, I'm going to try again tomorrow. Or, oh well, no big deal. Moving on. Or, oh well, it happens sometimes. That's okay. It's normal. Keep it going, right? They don't do all the catastrophizing. They don't do the shaming. They don't do the critique. They don't punish themselves and say, that's it, get rid of all of the sweet treats. None of them can be in the house. They need to all go into the garbage right now, right? They say, oh, that wasn't the move. And they try again tomorrow, right? I see Jen says, I'm going to practice committing to one treat Friday, one treat Saturday, one treat Sunday. Thanks so much. This was great. My future self is not bringing all the cupcakes, cookies, cheesecake. She's making it a valuable eating experience. Yeah. So, and again, valuable eating experience is a term that we use often in coaching. What does that mean to you? Again, it probably means something different to me than it means to you, and being very clear on how do I discern? How would I know that this is a valuable eating experience? How would I know that this is not a valuable eating experience? And then you practice, and it takes some trial and error. But it is possible. I am proof, our members are proof that you can have treats and lose weight. So I hope you go practice, and I'd love to hear about your practice as you are practicing. That's all I have for you today. Go have yourselves a wonderful Wednesday. Go take good care of yourselves, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye, everyone.